A new study shows that the job market is literally frozen right now. And I'm going to give you the three things that I'm seeing working for people to get unstuck and still get a job in what's one of the worst job markets we've seen in over 30 years. Let's get into it. But please, it's going to take me more than 30 seconds. So if you don't have the time, bookmark it and come back. Because if you're a job seeker in the frozen job market, you are going to figure out how to thaw yourself out with these three tips. So the first thing that I want you to understand is that in a frozen job market like this, there's not a lot of activity, there's not a lot of jobs. The competition is fierce, which means you've got to take your game up. And in order to do that, you've got to get really mindful about your job search. So, number one tip that I can tell you is that you've got to make sure that you are emotionally regulated. What I mean by that is that seeing the stats and the data automatically kind of raises our blood pressure, right? Like it makes us feel more anxious because it's more competitive. And anytime we're dealing with competitive, our energy rises. But then what happens as people start to look for work and they don't get the results they want because it is a hard market, they stress themselves out. They codify every experience as good or bad. They start to create this really emotional talk track. Everything becomes more heavy, more desperate, a more all or nothing. And all of a sudden, you are not emotionally regulated, meaning you are super stressed out. You've got anxiety, you've got depression. And the reality is, you're a weaker job seeker when you have high levels of emotion. So my goal as a job coach is to always bring somebody down emotionally. When they come to me, I've got to regulate their emotions, get them to a constant state, get rid of all this negative self-talk. A lot of times they're telling themselves fake stories. They've interpreted stuff incorrectly. They've created this whole dramatic thing in their head and they're making themselves a weaker job seeker. And I can't have that. I can't have that for you. So the first thing you've got to do is regulate your emotions at all costs. You've got to be really calm and focused. You've got to get rid of the anxiety and the depression. And there are a lot of ways that you can do that with the help of somebody. Second thing that you have to do is not job search in isolation. The worst thing you can do in a competitive job market is look for work by yourself. And I mean by that is that you sit around and you look for work and you're hard on yourself, right? You're doubting yourself. Did I do my resume right? Did I do my LinkedIn profile right? Is this approach right? Should I follow up that person? Did I do it wrong? What did I do wrong in the interview? Like that is the worst thing you can do to yourself. That actually creates the emotional dysregulation. So you want to not be looking for work by yourself, but I need to put a little star there because what I'm not suggesting is that you ask friends and family for help. They are not qualified to be job search coaches. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people involve family and friends who then start to give opinions constantly. And then they get even more overwhelmed and more upset. And quite frankly, they're given the wrong advice. This is a very competitive job market, which requires you to approach the job search 100% differently than even 6 months ago. The last 6 months have completely changed. And so these people don't know what they're talking about, but now they're up in your business. So please make sure you are not job seeking alone. Do not job search in isolation, but do not use friends and family. Instead, and this leads to the third thing, you should be surrounding yourself with like-minded professionals and people that can teach you the right way to look for work. Okay. For example, what you're doing right now, I'm a 20-year career coaching veteran. I'm here giving you the objective evidence and information you need to know. This is an example of it. What you want to do is find peers because you will then not feel lonely. You'll be able to share and you'll be able to learn and grow together. And that is how you speed up your learning. Unfortunately, what a lot of people do is sit in isolation, all emotionally wound up. And you know what they do? They do what they think is the right thing in job search. They apply online, they do their resume, and they don't get the right results, but they do it because it's familiar, right? I mean, you ever went to school for job search? You just applied for a job the way people told you to, got one, and now you think you know how to job search, but you don't. And so that familiar activity, you think it's productive, but it's not. Deep down, you know it's not working. And so that third thing you need to do is actually learn the right way to look for work. And that is going to require you to put yourself in what I like to call TPD, temporary productive discomfort. It means you got to learn something new. But the good news is once you learn these new, more productive ways of doing things, they'll be familiar to you too. And then you will be able to really get the results that you're looking for, right? So to recap, you've got to really emotionally regulate, keep your emotions in check. Number two, you do not isolate yourself. You do not job search alone and you don't solicit friends and family's advice to do it. That's not what I mean. Okay. You find peers and coaches who can support you. And number three, you put yourself in some form of job search school to understand what is working right now. And you get familiar with those techniques so that you stop doing the unproductive techniques. Those are the three things that are helping people get incredible new jobs in a frozen job market. If you made it this far, I have a place where you can do all three of those things 100% free, no credit card required. At the beginning of this year, my team and I saw what was happening and decided to build a free resource center. It is a private community that now has over 12,000 members and counting who are coming together, supporting one another, and getting access to over $1,000 worth of career coaching materials designed to help you through that temporary productive discomfort. In one afternoon, just an hour, you can listen to a job search boot camp and understand exactly what's working in this market. Okay. All from the comforts of your couch. So why wouldn't you join a community so that you can emotionally stabilize yourself, not be alone in your job search, and get the information that you need to succeed? All of that's in the free resource center. You'll find it linked in my bio, or just Google search Work It Daily. That's my company. And in the menu bar on the top of Work It Daily, you will see the free resource center. Again, no credit card required. This is our gift to you because we understand what's going on out there. We knew about this. It's now finally coming to light. But unfortunately, thousands of people will stay in the dark, will stay frozen because they won't do these three things that you've now learned. And you can't unlearn it. So you know what to do now, okay? And I will see you inside the free resource center. And together, we will get you that new, better paying job you want and deserve, okay? Good luck. Go get them.